Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining today. Because we have a large group, just please make sure to keep your mics silent. And if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up, just use the comment field in this meeting, and someone will either get back to you during the meeting or we'll follow up after. We're recording this meeting today, so just like in past meetings, if you want to get a refresher on the things we've covered, or for people that haven't been able to attend the meeting for whatever reason, we will be sending a link out once that's processed, so you'll have access to that as well. Today, we have a couple quick notes that I have, and then Jason's got some safety stuff. And then I'm going to follow up with just a review of the available material sheet. Welcome to summer. Among a lot of other things that happen in the summertime, we have a lot of vacations that go on. So try to meet with your teams either during a pre-task plan or toolbox talks. And you can't keep them from going on vacation, but a little bit of planning goes a long way. See if you can kind of figure out, if any of them have any plans on going away, and just try to stay connected with them. Also, Foreman yourselves, if you're planning on taking any time off, let your PM know, let the labor supers know too, Brian, Steve, and Johnny. It's good for them to know if you're in or out, you need coverage or what have you. Raining is another thing I just kind of want to touch on real quick too. We get a lot of tools out there, old tools, new tools. Not too many people have used all the tools that we have out there, and we have a range of different experience levels, from the greenest of green to the most seasoned veterans that have worked on everything. And it's very difficult to know by looking at somebody how much experience they have. So we tend to make some assumptions there. Try to connect with your team members at the pre-task plans and get a sense that they know the tools that they're working on. They have some information about them. They have some training on those tools. And if they don't, YouTube's a great resource for videos on these types of tools. We can send you videos and things like that, or we can get a vendor to come out to you and give a little class on them. Some things are more complicated than others, but it's always good to have a little training on these things. Just don't want to get people hurt for the sake of a 5-minute video. If there is something that you need some training on, just reach out to Jason and he can help you get lined up with it. All right. Jason, you got things you want to cover today?
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I only have a couple things here. Thank you, everyone that joined this meeting today. First of all, I want to talk about the safety meeting app. I know we've talked about it quite frequently in all the monthly Foreman meetings. I just want to thank everyone that has been using it and that has been providing feedback to work out the kinks in that app. And I want to encourage people to continue to use it. Log on, call me or Joe Herrick to get your login information. And start using that app for any training that you may need. For instance, say lead exposure training or working around lead. If GC wants you to do a training on that for your crew, you can easily just go on that app and print out all the material you need, or not even print it out. Do it right from your iPad, phone, laptop, and it adds all the people right to an attendee sheet right from there. So it's much easier than the old way where you're doing it on Bluebeam, printing out the toolbox talk, having everybody pass around a clipboard, signing it, and then scanning it back in and all that. This is a lot easier. So we encourage you to please start using that. If you need help, reach out to Joe Herrick or myself. If it's how to actually set up the toolbox talk in the morning, I can help you out with that. If it's how to set up the app and download it and anything technical related, Joe Herrick is the man for that. Next thing I want to talk about, it's been getting hot. Been getting very hot, so I want to talk about heat stress prevention. Everybody's been pretty good with this, is making sure you have cases of water or some source of water available to your guys, and encourage them to drink. You should be having a water bottle every hour and a half or so. So encourage them to drink. Yeah, it might lead to more bathroom breaks, but you got to do what you got to do. And signs of heat stress too. There's some obvious ones. You know, cramps, headaches, blurred vision, dizziness, lightheaded, pale skin, excessive sweating. If you have guys working outside in the sun for prolonged periods of times, it's a few things you can do to prevent that. We do have a couple easy up tents at Lawley Street. If you need them, if you're working in a trench for a long time, grab one of those. You can rotate out crews that are working in the sun or give them an additional break to hydrate and get out of the sun. Encourage them to wear sunscreen or provide them with sunscreen if need be, and wear light clothing. Don't want to keep the same people in the sun for long periods of time, especially people with fair skin like myself. We don't get along with the sun very well. Inside the buildings, obviously, ventilation is owned by the GCs, so make sure they have plenty of fans and openings if needed. Normally, nobody has a problem bringing that up to them. The last thing I have is training certificates. Trying to round up training certificates and keep them on file a little better on our end. So if anybody has lift training certificates, confined space certificates, fall protection, any training you've done in the field or had done in the past with Mike or with myself and I haven't documented them, please collect them and send them in. I think the best way to go about that would probably be email. If you're sending your crew certificates in, so I can keep them on file. It's just a lot easier when somebody goes to a new job. If the GC is asking for training certificates, you can easily pull it if we have it on file instead of asking somebody to go rummage through their wallet or go dig through their closet at home to find them. So if you have some things we'd like to keep on file, just send them in to me. Other than that, everyone have a safe 4th of July. I will be off next week. I'll be available by phone, but I won't be around to go to any site. So hope everyone has a good 4th of July. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Jason. Those are really good points for this this time of year. All right, I'd like to jump into the available material sheet. So a lot of you guys know about it. Some of you guys don't know about it. Available material sheet is a sheet that we use basically to manage all of the extra material that we get back to the warehouse. Just a disclaimer, we are not encouraging people to send all their leftover stuff back to the warehouse. That's not what this is about. If you're on a project and you got leftover stuff, you know, try to do your best to work with the PM and get that stuff returned to the vendor. The vendor can come to your job site, they can pick that stuff up, and they can credit your project with the cost for that stuff. So if you have a lot of bulk left over, hopefully you don't, but if you have a lot of bulk stuff left over, try to work that angle. Sometimes you can buy some good faith with the customer too. If you get leftover light fixtures and things like that, just give them to them. They're real no value to us. I know that's some of the thought is it's like we're going to save the company lots of money by reusing these fixtures, but in truth, they just go in the dumpster. Just like all those stock carts and gang boxes filled with loose end extra parts and stuff like that, we just don't have the time or space to store material in that way. So best thing to do with like stored material, that like carts of hardware and loose stuff like that, is to work with the PM and try to find a project you can send that stuff to. And then they can have the value of it. Or if you have another project you're going to, you can talk to Tony and you can just send it right to that job site. It is going to go in the dumpster. It comes back to the warehouse, it's going right in the dumpster. So you're wasting resources with collecting the stuff. Trucking, we have to pay for. Dumpsters, we have to pay for. You're better off just having the laborer come and take the stuff and bring it right to the job site dumpster. Save ourselves some time there. I know it seems like a sin to throw that stuff away, but we can't manage it that well. What we have on the available material sheet is boxed items that the vendor won't take back, you know, and bulk of that stuff. So I'm just going to try to share my screen here with you. Just give me a second. Okay. And all right. So if you haven't seen the available material sheet before, this is what it looks like. Okay. You can scroll up and down. There's hundreds of items on here. There's a little thumbnail in here showing you a picture of what it is. There's a description of what it is. There's a part number for what it is. And typically what will happen is we'll send out an email, and the email will look something like this. It'll come to you in your mailbox, leftover material. It'll give you a couple of links in here. One's a link to the sheet itself. Another's a link to the form. There's also a contact for dock control if you have some trouble trying to figure out what things are. If you scroll down, you'll start to see a list of the things that have most recently been populated onto the sheet. It's kind of a neat little thing that happens. It just gives you a little summary and a picture of what that item is. And these are the things that just got posted to the sheet. So you can see at the top here, there's 14 new items on here. If you're scrolling through and you say, oh my God, I could really use some of these 1.5 inch bushings, and that's all you're looking for, great. You just remember a couple of things. Remember this number right here, which is the line number, 2203, and the quantity on this side here that is available for it. If you have those two items, you can go right into the form and fill that out and be on your way. If you have more than a few items that you want, then you're just probably better off writing these numbers down. It'll save you a lot of time. So again, this line number and the quantity, those two are the two most important things to remember. So you can come back up and you can see this one is a link right to the form. You can click this link and that will open up the form and you're right into it. So if you remember that number, you can write it right in here, 2204. And there it is. Now, you don't need to enter that item in there. You can just scroll through, but like I said, there's hundreds of items in here. So you could be in here for a little while trying to find exactly what you want. Also, you got to put the quantity in here. Unfortunately, with the quantity, we cannot limit it to the amount we have available. So if I only have 1,000 available and you go and put 10,000 in there, you're not going to get 10,000 for one. You know, if you need more, then you're going to have to go and fill out your own material sheet and send that off to the vendor and ask for what you need. All I have is what's available. So it just messes things up for us if you're requesting more than that's there. So like I said, remember those two things, the line number and the quantity available, and then we're good. The next thing is the job number. So you write in your job number in here. If it's going to prefab, write your job number in prefab. That way Tony will know just to send it over to prefab, and then there's no more question you have to answer. The next thing you have to enter in here is your delivery date, when you want it to the job site. One thing to remember here is we're not looking to hold this stuff long term. The whole intent of the sheet is to get it out of the warehouse. So if you want something, then you have to take it. If you're looking to save things to the next job, please wait until the next job, and then, you know, when you have space on the job site, then you can release it off of here. Don't put some long-time service storage stuff up here. You know, it robs other people of the opportunity to use this stuff. And that's why it's free. It's free for you to use. We're not costing you the job or anything. The whole goal is just to get this stuff out and make it of use to you. The location of delivery. So this is for you specifically in the field. If you have a location that needs to go on the site, or if it needs to go to the penthouse, or if it needs to go to the fire command center, just note that in here, and hopefully Tony will write that on the box. So when you do get it out to the job site, it's just a little bit easier to figure out where the hell it goes. I know on bigger projects, it can be daunting when, you know, there's different foremen in different areas doing different things and just trying to get a hold of your own material. And the last thing is your name here for the contact information. So that's all you have to do, and then you hit the submit button. Unfortunately, you can only order one thing at a time. So if you're looking for several items, you're gonna have to submit this form 3 or 4 times. But the good thing is, and let's just do a test one real quick, right? So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna enter in here 2204. I'm gonna select that item. I'm gonna say that I want 100 of them. I'm gonna say that it's going to, I'm gonna pick this up at Campanelli, sure. And then I'm going to want it, sure, I want it tomorrow. My loading dock, I'll pick it up there. And West contact is, today it's going to be off box. And then I submit it. And I get this pop-up, hey, it's been submitted, right? So what I can do is a shortcut here is I could just hit this little back arrow here. If I hit that back arrow right there, it takes me right back to the form again. And all that same information that I submitted is in there. So most of this stuff you could probably leave alone. And then you just come in here and then you change this to something different. You know, it's like, oh, I also want to get some of these emergency light interfaces, and I only want 10 of them, you know, and then you could submit it again and again and again and again. So again, if you have those two items, those two, to the line number and the quantity, and you jot those things down, you can really zip through this thing pretty fast. Now, the last thing I wanted to cover with this is, you know, just to show how many people are using it and how much success they have with it, right? So this is all the stuff that's sent out. So far, 947 people have, or 947 entries have gone out that have come in here. And there's a variety of different, say Almuse did 52 of them, 41 here. Brian McGeckern did 41 of them. You know, this is all free material going out to these people. Brian Woods got some in there. Krista Penis is in there. Chris Wesling's in there. Corey Woodward's in there. I mean, there's a lot of foremen that are taking, Dave Johnson's in there. There's a lot of foremen that's been taking advantage of this. I just want to make sure everybody has an opportunity. There's a lot of good stuff and it's all free, and I just want to get it out of the warehouse. So whatever we can do to help you out, if you need to walk through this one more time, again, you can check it out on the video when it comes out, or you can call Dock Control. You can call me if you want to go through it. We're happy to assist. All right. That's all I got today. As Jason said, I want to make sure you guys have a happy and safe 4th of July. Thank you all for attending. The next meeting is going to be, next month will be a safety meeting straight up, and Jason will conduct that. And, you know, we'll do another foreman meeting in the next quarter. All right. Again, thanks everybody for your time today. Any questions or anything, just reach out. Thanks everybody.